This is the part 2 tutorial for the Apple or Mac platform. And we've already looked at capturing images or video off of your cameras or other devices. And the next step is editing or trimming your clip using iMovie editing software that comes on the Mac platform. iMovie is a video editing application that comes with your OS on the Mac side, so everybody that is working on a Mac should have iMovie installed. So at this point you should have already have recorded your teaching event and are ready to take it into iMovie to do any editing that you may need to do. And then the third tutorial, the next tutorial that we have, part 3, will go through handbrake compression so that we can get it down to a small enough file size for TK20. So one word about using iMovie or the editing portion for the edTPA process here is if you have any extraneous material on the front and back end of your clip that you want to remove. For example, if you started your camera rolling, you had the camera set up in the back of your classroom and you started it rolling, and then it took you a minute or two to get going with the actual teaching piece of it, and you wanted to remove that material at the beginning or the end of the clip, iMovie will allow you to do that. If you've previewed your clip already and you don't need to do any kind of editing, you can actually skip this module, the part 2 and the editing piece of it, and go straight onto the compression piece if your file looks good from beginning to end for you. So with that, we'll move forward. We are using Apple iMovie. The current version that I'll be displaying today is version 10.07. We will take a look at importing the clips, how to trim your clip at the start and the end point, and then also how to save or share your clip as a movie file so that you can bring it into Handbrake for the compression component. Most cameras have two primary functions. They will record video and then they will play back video. So on a traditional or current video camera, most often transferring your files from the camera down to your computer is done through a USB connection. You'll see here that we have a USB port on the side of the camera, and then the other end of it looks like a traditional USB connection point like you'd see on a flash drive, and you would connect that to your computer and turn it on to the playback side. You'll notice at the top portion on this camera that there is a button or a switch that you can go between the record side using the camera or the playback side, which is reviewing the clips. So by switching your camera to the playback side, your computer should recognize that, and iMovie will as well, and then you can transfer your files. So I've launched iMovie here, and the first thing that we're going to want to do is to bring in our clips so that we have them to work with. And you'll notice on the upper left portion of the screen here, we have an import button, and I'm going to go ahead and click on import, and a window will appear. And over in the left hand navigation area of the import window will be any cameras or devices that you currently have connected. Now there's three really primary ways that video can come into iMovie, and that can be done if you have a more current video camera where the files are stored on an internal hard drive of the camera or onto a SD card on the camera. That camera will be displayed here in the upper left corner where it says cameras. Currently I don't have a camera connected, so right now the only one it's recognizing is my built-in webcam on the laptop that I'm using. And then, or if you have your phone or other device connected, that'll appear in the devices area, and then below that you've got your favorite areas. If you have a older camera that is tape based, where it's still recording on videotape, there's a process for importing that as well. So if you review part 1 of these tutorials, you'll see how that's done. Or if the file is already a digital file on your computer, for example, I will just navigate to my desktop, and I have a file here that I'm going to click on, and in the lower right hand corner of the import window I'm going to go ahead and import that selected clip. And you'll now see that my clip has been brought into iMovie. iMovie stores clips in what are called events, and if you'll notice over in the left hand navigation panel, we kind of have a hierarchical structure of files here. And this top file that I have here is our what's called the library, which stores all of our media. And then down below we have a couple of events. And this clip was recorded in 2013. The event is labeled as 2013. And today's current date is also being displayed here. In addition to storing your clips inside these events, we also need to create a project. So the project is really the file that where you would assemble your clips or doing any of your editing. We're going to be doing some very simple editing here just by trimming off the front and back. So the first thing I want to do is to also create a new project. So I'm going to go to the New menu in the upper left portion of your screen. Click on that. You have two options to create a new movie project or to create a trailer. So we're going to select movie, and a pop-up window will come up asking if you want to apply any kind of themes. We don't want to add any kind of background themes or anything, so we're just going to say no theme, and in the lower right corner click on create. You do have an opportunity here of renaming the file and also choosing which event you would like to have this clip sent to, and you can also create a new event if you would like to. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it where it is so I can find it very quickly. And once I've created the new project, you'll see that we have the project file listed here at the top of the screen, and then the one clip that I have imported so far down below here. So I just simply have a clip here of a kid riding an inner tube in the wintertime, and if there's an area here at the beginning that I would like to trim off, I can do so, or at the end. By placing your cursor over the clip and dragging it, you can hear that you can hear the audio as well, so you'll be able to listen to your clip, or you can hit the space bar, which will play the clip. Hit the space bar again to pause it. You'll also notice on the right hand side in the player window there's a play button down in the center, the bottom of the window. If I hit that, it'll play the clip and I can pause it there as well. I think the easiest thing for trimming off the front and back end of a clip, since we are just working with one clip at a time here, is if you double click on the clip, you'll notice that it gets bounded by a yellow line. That tells you that the entire clip has been highlighted. So I can simply grab that clip with my cursor and drag it down to the timeline at the lower portion of the screen and release it, and that clip will be placed in my project timeline. If I hold my cursor over the front end of the clip, you'll notice that I'll get a double arrow cursor that comes up, and I can click and drag, and as I drag, I'm now removing some material at the beginning of the clip. So if you do have any extraneous material you want to get rid of, you can simply click and drag that. So in this case, I'm just going to wait until the kid starts to go down the hill here, then I'll say that is the beginning of my clip. And I can do the same thing at the end. If I move my cursor to the end, you'll see I'll get that double arrow cursor as well, and I can click and drag, and I can remove some material off on the back end. And that's now my shortened clip. So I've now successfully removed the front and back end of the clip off. So you can do that by watching your clip and then just simply holding your cursor over the front or back end of the clip and clicking and dragging, and that will trim off any extraneous material that you may have. Once you've done that, you're done, and you can go ahead and save your movie. You'll notice in the very upper right corner of your screen there is a button that says Share. This can also be done by going to the File menu and choosing Share as well. So either one works. If I do select Share, I will move over to the right and select the option to share a file. I want to save this as a video file or digital file. If I go back up to the other Share button just to show you that, I'll click on Share in the upper right hand corner. In the lower right corner is my option to save it as a digital file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and a window will come up allowing me to change the name of my movie if I would like to. The title here is a text field, so I can click on that and change the movie. I'll just leave it as my movie for now. And then I do want to point out that you can change the size or the resolution of your video. And depending on what your original clip was that you imported in may dictate what is being displayed here for a resolution or size. I recommend that you either do the 960 by 540 or the 1280 by 720. If you go with a little larger, your file size will be bigger, but we'll be compressing that later. So either one is fine. 1280 is probably a good option here for you. So we can select that, and then you'll notice over on the right hand side in the bottom there's a next button. We can click on next. It's going to ask us to select a location of where we would like to store this file on our computer. So a window will pop up. You'll see my file here is called My Movie, and then I can just navigate where on my computer I'd like to store it. So I'm just going to go ahead and set mine to be saved to the desktop. I will hit the Save button in the lower right hand corner, and then you are done. It'll take a little bit to save it. once you click save, in the upper right corner you will notice that there is a little circle here that is filling up like a clock, and that's just your progress of the save feature here. So once this gets done, your file will be saved to the location that you designated. In my case, it's on the desktop, and we're good to go. From this point on, you can then move on to the next tutorial, part 3, and that will step you through the process of compressing your file using Handbrake compression software. So good luck.